Now, this illustration deals with insulation or covering in accordance with the NEC 230.22 exception. Now, notice in the note with the arrow pointing toward the drop, it's a service drop that's a 3-plex cable. Now, notice the messenger cable that supports the 3 conductors that are insulated is usually used as a supporting means for the 3 insulated phase conductors, but it's also used as a neutral in some cases. So it has to meet our table 250.102C1 to serve as a conductor large enough for the fault current to travel over if such a condition develops somewhere in the system. But it also has to be large enough to serve as a neutral calculated conductor in accordance with 220.61, and we would take the larger of the 2. Now, for example, say at the weatherhead we had 4 conductors routed through the meter to a 225 amp main in the service equipment with the sections 230.70A through C that we would review. Then notice, based upon the 4 conductors, we would have a number 2 neutral that would be connected to the support conductor, the bare conductor that we'd have there in the multiple conductor cable. The exception would allow it to be used as a neutral conductor, so it would have to be large enough to supply the neutral load to the building, which would be determined by the utility, but by the designer from the weatherhead down through the meter to the service. That conductor would be sized first from table 250.102C1 of the code, and based upon 4 it would have to be at least number 2. And you'd say, well, no, as the designer, the neutral calculated per 220.61 as a 1/0. Then the 1/0 calculated for neutral load per 220.61 is more than adequate to serve as the path for the fault current that only had to be number 2 per table 250.102C1 based upon the 4 conductors from the weatherhead terminating to the 225 amp main in the service equipment. Then once again, dealing with the neutral, please make the complete loop. Look at 230.22 exception, 230.30 exception, 230.41 exception, 310.10A, and review the table 230.102C1 and 220.61 that I threw out there. And then you understand just exactly what NEC 230.22 exception is allowing to be done here in accordance with this figure 6-12 little b.